Very good morning again. Our second topic of discussion for today is creative approaches to innovation management. Now, as I told you, creativity plus commercialization equals innovation. So, thereby, it is justified that we shed a little bit of light into creative approaches for innovation management. So, just to give you an idea, these are the things we'll talk about: creativity, sources of new ideas, innovation, creative problem solving, innovation, and entrepreneurship, except I omit globalization as a topic of discussion and rather focus on why innovate, what innovate, how to innovate, who innovates, what are the modules of innovation, how do you get profits based on innovation is something that I will shed light upon. Creativity. So let's just go ahead and define the concept. It's an act, idea, or an idea and a product that changes an existing domain or takes an existing domain and transforms it into a new one altogether. Creativity is the discovery of something that is novel, unique, but also useful, relevant, of some economic value, and valuable. What are the types of creativity? You have primary creativity, which deals with something very spontaneous. Secondary creativity, where you deliberate, you take some time to think, to brainstorm, apply certain ideas and insights to innovations. Technical creativity, improve a process and enhance its efficiency. Inventive creativity, taking something existing, devising new combinations of ingredients. Innovative creativity, taking basic ideas, developing much more effective systems for motivating staff. So, an example of innovative creativity is companies looked at employee engagement as a principle of psychology, but today, to motivate and engage their staff, you have these impromptu dances being done, you have birthday celebrations being done. On a festival or an occasion, all the staff are motivated to dress in the traditional attire of their own land. So that's a concept of innovative creativity. Emergentive creativity, revolutionary principles based on, say, something like the psychoanalytic concept of Sigmund Freud, where you look at the id, ego, superego, take the concept of id, the basic primal instinct of man. Companies are trying to tap into the id part of it by saying food made by your mother, or by looking at bake a cake like your mother used to. Basic fundamental primal concept of sustenance and survival is an example of emergentive creativity. What is the process of creativity? You prepare. With preparation, then you have incubation, insight, evaluation, and elaboration. We'll discuss each one of these steps in explicit detail. When you say preparation, first you investigate, you gather information. This can be done by attending seminars, talking to SMEs, subject matter experts, gathering information from certain journals. Once you've prepared, incubate, sort of introspect, put the situation in your mind, generate a lot of ideas and information. This incubation is very crucial for the process to move on smoothly, because after you incubate and you have all these ideas and thoughts in your mind, the person tries to locate a solution to their problems. So, in most of the cases, it comes incrementally, step by step. So the person implements a solution slowly and steadily, he goes on improving the solution. Evaluation is when you take your creative innovation, look at it, and it's an emotional phase because one feels insecure when you're thinking of how other people will react to it. Elaboration. So I have done something really creative, it's a really creative innovation. When I try to elaborate it to people, requires a great deal of self discipline. You need to be dedicated to the idea. You need to persevere so that the idea truly becomes a success. What are some barriers to creativity? So people get used to doing particular work in a particular manner and they are opposed to ideas and change or creativity. Big barrier. Managers are opposed to giving initiatives or opposed to giving power to their subordinates because they feel this undermines their authority, thereby subordinates cannot be creative. Restriction and interaction. When the work environment is free and open, members are able to interact, exchange ideas, exchange creative information, and this facilitates creativity. In a very restricted environment, creativity is severely curbed. Fear of something goes wrong. Many new ideas would go wrong, they may be impractical. So, whenever someone is afraid of this, creative work is not encouraged. Lack of recognition. I put in a lot of hard work, I'm really creative, and I feel I must be compensated adequately, financially, non financially. So, when you are not recognized, creativity goes without being implemented. Resource constraints. I need to have people, I need to have money, I need to have the organizational support. So, if these resources are absent, it truly dampens the spirit of creativity. How do you get new ideas which are going to be really creative? One is I told you can do basic research. Then you can look at the production stage when you are producing a product. You yourself can suggest certain creative modifications and improvements. Right? One good example I can give you for this is all of you would have heard and used of this company called ID, which makes the idli and the dosa batter. ID came up with a unique packaging which you use to make your vadas. So it has a particular nozzle which is designed which allows you to pour batter in a circular manner, thereby making the vada in the desired shape. So you see, that's a creative product improvement. So it improves quality, tries to bring in more customers to it, improves performance of the potential product. The salespeople who are your first line of contact with the customer can understand customer needs, put this into practice in the product development phase, and come up with newer and more creative solutions. Management team who have their knowledge, their skill and experience helps in coming out with really new, innovative and creative ideas. I've already told you about magazines and trade journals where you take in useful ideas, add a bit of value to it and make it something which is truly useful. Competitors, I need to continuously study the innovations that the competitors are doing, their creativity quotient, and try and implement the same in my organization. Buyers, I told you, consumers and buyers will definitely give you creative ideas for the same product. Sellers, who are selling it either directly or indirectly, who are working between manufacturers and consumers, like your retail store owners, give you a lot of creative ideas. Anyone who's interested in taking the product overseas gets a lot of ideas from those markets, gives you those insights for creativity. So these are some creative problem solving techniques. You can see there's something called brainstorming, heuristics, synectics, and value analysis. Let's quickly talk about these things. Heuristics means it is experience based techniques which look at problem solving, learning, and discovery. So, a good example of heuristics is we can take Mahindra and Mahindra Automotive Company. They have had diesel automobiles for as long as we've known, but experience said people wanted electric cars, people wanted hybrid cars. So they started coming out with hybrid technology in their jeeps and trucks. They came out with the Reva, which was one of the first electric cars in the Indian market. So when you look at heuristics, it takes readily accessible information, takes certain information from human beings as well, applies this as a solution, and it works well Maybe not all the time, but maybe in a generalized situation, like I told you, automobiles, it could actually work. So, experience driven techniques for problem solving and solution creation are called heuristics. So, heuristics directed towards creativity, you need to pause and notice things, focus on creative topics, don't be too narrow, come up with original and useful ideas. When you need creative ideas, move away from the general train of thought, focus your attention, escape from other sources of distraction and generate creativity. Pause and carefully examine ideas which make you laugh the first time you hear them. Recognize your own stream of thought, look at patterns in the past, harvest, develop, and implement few of the ideas you generate. So, this is heuristic creativity for you. The next one is called brainstorming, where groups of people are made to sit together and are asked to spell out maximum number of solutions for a specific problem. Under brainstorming, you get a huge pipeline of solutions or ideas. This technique is not suitable where the problem has a very unique solution. Brainstorming is possible when there are specific topics. So you get numerous ideas out of which you choose few ideas. There is ample opportunities for participants to put forward suggestions. Enables participants to freely share many different ideas. During brainstorming, ideas are evaluated. Even though there's a lot of quantity and maximum ideas are generated, quantity begets quality, meaning you need to focus on quantity but never forget the importance of quality. Brainstorming brings forward novel and unique ideas. In brainstorming, you appreciate your ideas as well as others' ideas as well. Synectics very simply means you are trying to find innovative practices to some technical problems. So there are analogies here, meaning comparing one thing to the other. There is a direct analogy. What is a problem? How can you compare this problem with another problem in a similar industry and try coming out with a unique and creative solution? Personal analogy. So I was driving an electric car. I found out that it had a range of 20 kilometers. I forgot to charge it today and I was stranded in the middle of the road without a power station. So my personal analogy says if I had a petrol or a diesel automobile, I could push it to the nearest petrol bunk and get it filled. But electric, due to lack of charging stations, I feel we need to have hybrid vehicles with internal combustion engine and an electric engine to prevent any such problems. Fantasy analogy, very, very interesting, because here you are encouraging group members to fantasize, come up with some solutions which are extraordinary but doesn't really align with scientific principles. So I'll give you a good example here of this company which is called Pirelli. If you've heard about them, it's an Italian tire manufacturer. In one of their brainstorming sessions, they asked their company employees to come out with tires which were puncture proof. They didn't mean tubeless tires. So Pirelli was asked to design this particular product for the army, because army go into inhabitable terrain and they need vehicles which don't get punctured in any way. So they came out with one very unique solution. This was a tire which had no tube in it, which didn't have complete thick rubber on it, but it was connected with metal rods to the rim of the wheel and it was flexible and bendable. They started applying it to some of their tanks, some of their cars, and it is basically puncture proof. But you see, it's a fantastical solution, but it's not aligning with scientific principles. Symbolic analogy. So it looks at how you take some keywords, give those keywords and try and capture ideas based on those keywords. Let's say all of us here are doing a brainstorming. I give you this keyword which says disinfectant, or I give you this keyword which says Air quality. So using those keywords, you have to try and come up with unique and creative solutions for disinfectants or for improving the air quality. The other kind of discussion we need to have here is about something called value analysis. Looks at reducing cost, looks at solving problems, analyzes existing products and services. To do what? To eliminate costs. These costs are invariably the ones which are not adding any value to the performance. So in value analysis, what is the customer satisfaction? What is the cost? What is the effect produced by the product which satisfies the customer needs? Value analysis, look at the cost, the performance and the benefits the product has to offer vis-a-vis the benefit to the customer, and you need to analyze the need of the customer. In value analysis, first you collect basic information, analyze that information, implement a new and improved way of performing this process through innovation and creativity. Evaluation is crucial. Then implement and monitor it. When you look at profits and innovation, so creativity, innovation ultimately all boils down to generating profits. So when an entrepreneur innovates, makes something creative, gives economic value for it, this is where profits are going to be generated. What is the role of an entrepreneur? You must be an innovator, must be able to analyze and exploit opportunities, innovate for the present period, maybe think of the future but not at that moment. Innovation should be easy to understand. Your knowledge, your ingenuity, your persistence, your commitment must be there. Must mobilize resources and try to make commercial gains from the opportunities. What are the elements of creative innovation? Production of totally new ideas, extend it for existing products and services, replicate something which is existing, don't merely copy it, add some creative touches to improve it, synthesize, take existing concepts, find a way to form new applications from those concepts. How do you transfer this innovation? So sometimes unexpected failure is going to lead to some creative changes. When there is a gap between customer expectations and reality, here is where creativity comes in. When the scenario or the situations demand a need for innovation, this is where entrepreneurs need to start becoming more creative. Industry and market changes are going to prompt creativity. Demographic changes prompt creativity. The way people's perception changes or doesn't change to the object, the attitude of people is going to generate creativity. You look at knowledge, and this knowledge based concept looks at creative innovation. How to innovate? Do paid experimentation, fail early, try to avoid mistakes, anticipate early information up in front of you, try and innovate creatively, reduce price, bring in new innovations, combine new technology and traditional technology, which is something very beneficial to people. Who's going to innovate? Educated individuals, people who are higher in social standing, less dogmatic, who are more receptive and perceptive to risk, high in social participation, more engaged in interpersonal communication, and active information seekers are going to be innovators. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead of you.